Mia Carter steps into the university classroom, her simple, outdated clothes standing out among the trendy, designer outfits of the younger students. Laughter echoes through the room as some students nudge each other, eyes fixed on Mia. A girl whispers loudly, "What's she doing here? Isn't she a bit too old for this?" Mia keeps her gaze steady, her expression calm, but her eyes reveal a quiet determination. Mia walks into the classroom, her steps steady but her hands clutching her notebook tightly. Around her, the younger students exchange curious glances. Some whisper, some smirk. The professor steps forward, clearing his throat. "Class, this is Mia Carter. She's our newest student and also the most experienced among us." A group of students in the back chuckle, nudging each other. "Experienced? More like expired." One of them mutters, loud enough for Mia to hear. Another rolls her eyes. "What's she trying to prove? That she can keep up with us?" Mia meets their mocking gazes, her face calm, but her grip on the notebook tightens. During the break, Mia sits alone at the back of the classroom, her eyes focused on her notebook. The group of students from earlier saunter by, pretending to accidentally knock over Mia's stack of papers. The pages scatter across the floor, and they burst into laughter. Kelly, a confident and smug-looking student, raises her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "Oh no! Does someone need reading glasses to pick up these notes?" The other students snicker, nudging each other. Mia kneels down, carefully picking up each piece of paper, her hands trembling slightly. Kelly crosses her arms, watching Mia with a smirk. "Come on, Grandma. Need a hand?" Mia looks up, her eyes meeting Kelly's. But instead of responding, she simply nods politely and continues to gather her notes in silence. Behind her, the whispers and mocking giggles continue, echoing like a haunting chorus. The professor stands at the front of the classroom, announcing the final group project, a comprehensive presentation on a major economic topic. Kelly exchanges smug glances with her friends, all of whom quickly form a group together, excluding Mia without a second thought. Mia stands in the middle of the classroom, holding her notebook tightly to her chest, watching as the other students scramble to join groups. Kelly's voice rings out, dripping with sarcasm. "Oh, Mia, don't worry. I'm sure the bottom-tier group could use some wisdom." A few students chuckle. Mia's cheeks flush slightly, but she keeps her composure. Left with no other option, Mia ends up joining a group of students known for their lackluster performance. Aaron, a shy, introverted guy who barely speaks. Lisa, a single mom struggling to keep up with her studies. And Max, a laid-back student who often skips classes. Mia approaches them, offering a gentle smile. "Looks like we're a team." Max raises an eyebrow, clearly unimpressed. "Great. We're doomed." Lisa shrugs, her eyes tired. "I can try to help, but I don't know much about economics." Aaron just nods slightly, keeping his eyes fixed on the floor. From across the room, Kelly watches with a satisfied grin. "Good luck, Grandma," she whispers to herself. "You're going to need it." Mia takes a deep breath, her gaze shifting from her disheartened teammates to her notebook. Despite the odds, a determined glint appears in her eyes. Mia sits alone at her small dining table, laptop open, stacks of books and printed documents surrounding her. The room is dimly lit, but her eyes are focused, scanning through economic theories and market analysis. She takes a deep breath and whispers to herself, "I will prove that age is not a barrier." Mia jots down notes meticulously, her handwriting neat and precise. Each page of her notebook is filled with strategies and ideas, carefully outlined and highlighted. Meanwhile, Kelly and her group are lounging in the campus cafe, scrolling through their phones and laughing. "I mean, come on," Kelly says, rolling her eyes. "Does she really think she can outsmart us? We've got this in the bag." Her friends nod in agreement, sipping on iced coffee and tossing crumpled notes aside. They share memes and gossip while Mia continues to work tirelessly, her pen moving swiftly across the paper. The clock ticks late into the night. Mia's eyes grow heavy, but she refuses to stop. She rubs her temples and takes another sip of coffee, determined to finish her outline. "Mia, get some rest," Lisa texts her. "We can work on it tomorrow." Mia glances at the message, then back at her notes. With a deep breath, she mutters, "Just a little more." The scene ends with Mia's tired but resolute expression as she continues to work under the warm glow of the lamp. The next morning, The classroom is buzzing with chatter as the professor announces the start of the presentations. Mia takes a deep breath, her fingers trembling slightly as she holds her notes. She watches Kelly and her group stride confidently to the front of the class, their smug smiles barely concealing their arrogance. Kelly flashes a smirk at Mia before turning to the audience. Our presentation is about market trends in the digital age, Kelly announces, clicking to the first slide. The screen fills with colorful graphics and generic statements. One of Kelly's teammates stumbles over his words, trying to explain a concept without any supporting data. Another member reads directly from the slides, his voice monotone and lifeless. Kelly stands with her arms crossed, nodding as if everything is going perfectly. Mia clenches her jaw, eyes fixed on the screen. Her mind races with thoughts of the hours she spent preparing, poring over data and refining her arguments. The presentation ends with half-hearted applause. Kelly steps forward, glancing back at Mia with a smug grin. "That was easy," she mutters, loud enough for Mia to hear. "Let's see how our old lady does." Mia stands up slowly, her legs shaking but her gaze unwavering. As she walks toward the front of the room, she whispers to herself, "It's my turn now." Mia stands at the front of the classroom, her hands gripping the edges of her notes. The room is filled with whispers and quiet snickers. Kelly crosses her arms, leaning back in her chair with a smug smile. Mia's group members stand awkwardly behind her, their eyes downcast, clearly not expecting much. One of them nervously adjusts his glasses, avoiding eye contact. Mia takes a deep breath, eyes scanning the audience. The laughter, the whispers, they're all there, but she pushes them aside. "Good afternoon, everyone," she begins, her voice slightly shaky but firm. "Our presentation today is about overcoming challenges in a competitive market." The screen lights up with the first slide, a simple, clean layout with clear data points. Mia continues, her voice growing stronger with each word. She points to a chart that she spent hours perfecting. In the last decade, small businesses have faced significant challenges in adapting to new market trends. A few students glance at each other, surprised by the clarity and depth of the information. Kelly rolls her eyes, but the smugness begins to waver. Mia's hands still tremble slightly, but her voice is steady now. She locks eyes with Kelly for a brief second, and then turns back to the audience. "The truth is, we all have our unique challenges," Mia says, her gaze unwavering. "But it's how we choose to face them that defines who we are." Mia takes another deep breath, her eyes sweeping across the room. The room that once echoed with mocking whispers now falls into an attentive silence. Mia clicks to the next slide, revealing a chart filled with precise data and well-researched statistics. Her voice is now steady, confident. "As a small business owner, I faced numerous setbacks, from supply chain disruptions to financial constraints," Mia says, her eyes glinting with determination. "But instead of giving up, I learned how to adapt. And that's exactly what we need to discuss today, adaptation strategies for small businesses." The screen shifts to a list of strategies, each point backed up with concrete examples. Mia gestures to a graph that shows a spike in revenue during a recession, a graph that represents her own store's data. "This," she continues, "is what happened when I implemented targeted marketing and optimized inventory management. The results? A 30% increase in sales despite market challenges." The room remains silent, eyes fixed on the screen. Even Kelly, who had been rolling her eyes minutes earlier, now sits up straighter. Her smug expression has faded, replaced by a look of confusion, and perhaps a hint of admiration. Mia moves on to the final slide, where a quote reads, "The strength of a business lies not in its size, but in its ability to adapt." Mia looks up, her gaze calm and collected. "Adaptation is the key," she concludes, her words hanging in the air. "Not just for businesses, but for all of us." A student whispers to the person next to them. She actually knows what she's talking about. The person nods, still staring at Mia with newfound respect. Mia takes a deep breath, her gaze scanning the room as she steps away from the podium. Silence hangs heavy in the air, as if the entire class is processing what just happened. Then the professor begins to clap. Slowly at first, then more enthusiastically. The sound echoes through the room, and one by one, the other students join in. The applause grows louder, filling the entire classroom. Mia stands there, her expression a mixture of relief and disbelief. For the first time, she feels truly seen, not as the old lady or the outsider, but as someone with valuable insights and knowledge. Kelly's face is a stark contrast. Her jaw clenches, her brows knit together as she watches the class applaud the very woman she had ridiculed moments earlier. The smug smile she wore during her own presentation has completely vanished. A fellow student nudges Kelly and whispers, "Wow, she was actually amazing." Kelly forces a tight-lipped smile, her eyes avoiding Mia's. Meanwhile, a few other students approach Mia, congratulating her on her presentation. One student says, "Mia, that was incredible. Where did you learn all that?" Mia smiles softly. "Life has been my greatest teacher," she replies. Kelly stands frozen, her fists clenched under the desk as she watches Mia receive the kind of admiration she had always craved. The classroom slowly empties as students file out, chatting excitedly about Mia's impressive presentation. Mia gathers her belongings, carefully placing her notes back into her worn-out backpack. Kelly stands at the doorway, arms crossed, her expression a mix of frustration and uncertainty. She takes a deep breath, then walks toward Mia. The sound of her heels clicking against the floor echoes through the empty room. "Mia," Kelly begins, her voice wavering slightly. Mia looks up, her eyes calm and composed. Kelly shifts uncomfortably, eyes darting to the floor. I didn't expect you to be so knowledgeable," she says, forcing a tight smile. "I mean, you really surprised everyone out there." Mia closes her backpack and stands up, her height making her look more imposing than before. "Kelly, knowledge isn't just about what you learn in books," Mia says gently. "It's also about what you learn through life. And life, well, it teaches some pretty valuable lessons." Kelly's face flushes slightly. "I guess I just thought, with you being older and all. I assumed." Mia raises an eyebrow. "You assumed that I was clueless? That I had nothing valuable to offer?" Kelly swallows, guilt flashing across her face. "I'm sorry. I was wrong," she mutters. "I shouldn't have treated you that way." Mia's expression softens. She steps closer and places a comforting hand on Kelly's shoulder. "It takes courage to admit when you're wrong, Kelly. But remember, respect isn't about age, status, or appearance. It's about recognizing the value in each person." Kelly nods, her eyes dropping to the floor. "Thank you, Mia." Mia smiles, then walks past Kelly toward the exit. Kelly watches her go, feeling the weight of her own arrogance pressing down like a heavy cloud. A few days later, the university's media club publishes a video featuring Mia's powerful presentation and her journey as the oldest student in class. The headline reads, "The oldest student in class taught everyone a lesson they'll never forget." The video begins with clips of Mia confidently delivering her presentation, her voice calm yet compelling. The footage then shifts to Kelly's stunned expression, her arrogance melting away as Mia's words resonate with everyone in the room. Within hours, the video gains traction, rapidly spreading across social media. Comments flood in. "Age is just a number. Mia just proved it. This woman is the true definition of perseverance and strength. We all need a Mia in our lives to remind us what really matters." Mia sits in the library, scrolling through the comments, her eyes welling up with tears. For so long, she had felt invisible, dismissed, and underestimated. Now her words are reaching thousands, and her voice is finally being heard. Meanwhile, Kelly watches the video alone in her dorm room, each comment a painful reminder of her own pettiness. She closes her laptop, burying her face in her hands. Kelly sits alone at a cafe, her coffee untouched. The once confident smirk is gone, replaced by a vacant, troubled stare. She scrolls through her phone, the video of Mia's presentation playing once again. Mia's calm, authoritative voice echoes through the cafe speakers, each word hitting Kelly like a wave of guilt. Earlier that day, Kelly had been called into Professor Bennett's office. He crossed his arms, his eyes stern. "Kelly, I'm disappointed. I expected more professionalism from you. Mocking a fellow student, especially one who just delivered the best presentation in class, is unacceptable." Kelly had nodded, words caught in her throat. Now, as she watches Mia on the screen, she remembers her own smug comments, the cruel jokes, the dismissive laughter. They all seem so small, so petty now. At the far end of the cafe, a group of students laugh and chat. Kelly's eyes focus on Mia, who is now surrounded by classmates. They're smiling, nodding as she speaks, clearly hanging onto her every word. Mia's face is bright, her laughter warm and genuine. Kelly closes her eyes, sinking deeper into her chair. The room feels colder, lonelier than ever. Mia walks through the university hallway, her steps steady and confident. This time, as she enters the classroom, the atmosphere is different. Gone are the mocking whispers and sneering glances. Now her classmates nod in acknowledgement, some even offering warm smiles. "Mia, good morning," one student greets genuinely. "Hey Mia, can you help me with the assignment later?" another asks, holding up a textbook. Mia smiles, feeling a warmth she hadn't felt in a long time. She approaches the podium, where Professor Bennett is waiting. "Today, we have a special guest who will be assisting in our upcoming seminar," Professor Bennett announces, placing a reassuring hand on Mia's shoulder. Mia Carter, who has proven herself not only as a student, but as someone with real-world experience that we all can learn from. The class erupts into applause, genuine, appreciative. Kelly, sitting at the back of the room, claps along, her eyes lowered but her face soft with newfound respect. Mia takes a deep breath, her heart swelling with pride. This time, she's not just a student. She's a teacher too. Mia steps out of the university building, the afternoon sun casting a warm glow over her face. She pauses for a moment, closes her eyes, and takes a deep breath. The air feels fresher, lighter, as if she's finally let go of the weight of judgment and doubt. As she opens her eyes, a group of younger students walks past, laughing and chatting. Mia smiles, but this time, it's a smile of self-assurance. She no longer feels out of place. She belongs here, not just as a student, but as someone with a story worth sharing. In a world where youth and appearances are often glorified, never forget, wisdom and experience are the true teachers. If this story inspired you, hit subscribe to stay tuned for more life-changing lessons.